Well, we're hearing a bit more in this presidential campaign about birtherism. That, of course, because Hillary Clinton and her Democratic allies are bringing it up as a way of pushing back against Donald Trump, who's been trying to make inroads with the African-American community, but many black voters are still mad at Trump over what he did in 2011, which is he became the face of the birther movement. He publicly challenged President Obama repeatedly to provide his birth certificate, which the president ultimately did, raising questions about whether he in fact was born in Hawaii or was born somewhere outside the United States, a conspiracy theory that has never been proven, and in fact there is ample evidence now to show that Barack Obama, as he has claimed, was born in Hawaii in 1961. Rudy Giuliani was on MSNBC's Hardball, and he says Trump now accepts this. That Trump decided 2 or 3 years ago that he's no longer contesting this, except whenever Trump is asked about it. He says, I don't want to talk about it. He didn't contradict what Giuliani said, and Giuliani is one of his top surrogates. But so this is why the issue has bubbled up. We raised that because we played the tape of Giuliani and Chris Matthews talking about this, and that prompted an email from Ralph W., Indiana. Ralph in Indiana says, Howie, I just watched Media Buzz this afternoon on Fox News. The segment was Fred Barnes and a lady Democrat surrogate. She said Trump should answer about his birther ideas way back when. The topic was about Hillary's health, and she was trying to deflect. You missed a chance to say Hillary started the birther idea in 2007 and 2008. If you want proof of this, Google, did Hillary bring up the birther idea in 2008? You could have stopped her in your tracks. You messed up. Sorry, Ralph, I didn't mess up, and let me set a few things straight. First of all, this Democratic surrogate that you describe is not a Democratic surrogate. She's Catherine Rampell. She's a columnist for the Washington Post. She's a liberal columnist, and she's certainly more sympathetic to Hillary Clinton's campaign, but she's not there as a surrogate. Secondly, she wasn't deflecting attention. What happened was we had planned to do a segment first on Hillary Clinton holding her first news conference and talking more to her press corps after 9 months of no news conferences, and then to get to this question about Giuliani, Chris Matthews, and the birther issue. There was breaking news. The breaking news during my hour was Hillary Clinton has pneumonia. So obviously we started off with that. But then I moved on because I wanted to get to these other topics, and we discussed the breaking news in other segments as well. I played the tape of Rudy and Matthews, and I asked both Fred Barnes and Catherine Rampell about it. I said, does Donald Trump need to say the words himself now that he has Rudy Giuliani on his behalf saying that he no longer believes, no longer questions President Obama's birthplace? And as far as Hillary Clinton started, I know exactly what you're referring to. I covered the 2007-2008 campaign when the birther questions were raised because a lot of Republicans believed that Barack Obama was secretly a Muslim. She was asked about this in an interview. She said she takes him at his word. She added a phrase that a lot of people didn't like at the time, as far as I know. Doesn't mean that Hillary Clinton was pushing the birther issue. It did mean that perhaps she was leaving the door open. At least that was the criticism at the time. Maybe Barack Obama, her primary opponent, was not telling the full truth. So I think it's fair, since Trump has never renounced it, of course it's going to come up. Everything comes up in the heat of a presidential campaign. Personally, I'd like to move on. I think Trump has moved on. Rudy says he's moved on. But some in the press say they want to hear it from Trump himself. You may disagree with that, but it's certainly fair game for conversation, since this is the first time I've ever heard a Trump surrogate say that he no longer makes an issue out of President Obama's birthplace.